let's divide fractions by a whole number. Now the key here is remembering how we divide fractions. So if I have two fractions, I don't even care what they are. It doesn't matter. The key is, and there's the mathematical phrase is multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, that's like the mathematical reciprocal. I don't know, that's not how you spell that. Anyway, the easy way to remember it is keep, change, flip. Okay, there's three pieces. The first one, you keep, it stays the same. The middle is the division sign. You change that to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction, right? That's multiplying by the reciprocal. So you keep, change, flip. That's what I'm going to be using throughout. Okay, so first we're dividing by a whole number. So before we can divide fractions or divide by a whole number, we need to make that whole number a fraction. So recall, to make a whole number a fraction, we simply put it over 1 because we know in this case 7 over 1 is the same as 7. So to make a whole number a fraction, we put it over 1. Now we are going to use our keep, change, flip. Okay, so we keep the first fraction, 2/3. We change division to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction to be 1/7. And now we go into multiplication mode. So we look numerator to denominator. Can I reduce any fractions? And in this case, the answer is no. So I multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 7 is 21. You should always check at the end. Make sure that 2 over 21, they share no common factors. So we're ready to move on. Okay, let's do the next one. 4/5 divided by 8. As soon as you see that whole number, say, okay, I'm going to make it a fraction so I can divide fractions. And now we're going to do our keep, change, flip. I am a very visual learner, so I like to write things down to help me remember. So my keep, change, flip, I'm going to keep my first fraction the same. I'm going to change my division sign to multiplication, and I'm going to flip to get the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 8 over 1 is 1/8. So I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. Keep, change, flip. And now, if you notice, hopefully you've seen it already, my numerator of 4 and my denominator of 8 share a common factor of 8. So I can divide both of these by 4 because that's the common factor. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So my new problem, reduced, is 1/5 times 1/2. Now I'm ready to multiply straight across, and I get 1/10. Let's do two more. 12 divided by 13, 12/13. Fraction bar is a division bar, divided by 4. Okay, so we're going to make that a fraction by putting it over 1. And now we use our keep, change, flip. So I keep the first fraction the same, 12 over 13. Because we're dividing fractions, I change division to multiplication, and I flip or find the reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay, compare numerators to denominators. Do we have any common factors? And in this case, the answer is yes, right? With this one here, it means there's nothing really to look at, but we can check out 4 and 12. 4 and 12 share the common factor of 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I end up with 3 over 13 times 1 over 1. And when I multiply straight across, I get 3 over 13. Now, one thing I want to just talk about real quick is, at this stage, 12 over 13 times 1 over 4. If you had said, hey, 12 is divisible by 2, gives me 6. 4 is divisible by 2, gives me 2. Now I have the problem 6 over 13 times 1/2. That's great. Mathematically, very, very good. That's sound mathematics. But notice, 6 and 2 are also even, so we could do it again. And that would give you your 3 over 13 times 1 over 1. It's not bad if it takes you an extra step. You should use whatever you can see. A lot of times, if I see 2 even numbers, I almost always start with 2 unless I see something else as quickly. Because if you divide by 2, it's going to make your number smaller, makes it easier to work with. Let's do one more. 1/8 divided by 6. Well, first we got to make 6 a fraction by putting it over 1. And then we are ready to keep, change, flip. Remember, when you're dividing fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. So we keep the first fraction, we change division to multiplication, and we flip or find the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now in this case, we have the numerators of just 1, so there's nothing to reduce. So we multiply straight across, and I get 1 over 48. And that's dividing fractions. Oh, excuse me, dividing by a whole number.